Good evening and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. My name is Donna Gray Banks and I am your host this evening. And tonight, our special guest is Mr. Milton McCulloch. He's a poet, an author, a songwriter, a composer, producer, talk show host, and literary series host. Welcome, Mr. McCulloch, to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. And one of the things that is never mentioned in my my accolades, I say that humbly, is that people don't know me as a playwright.
I know I was going to say that later in the show. Just give me a minute.
Because I don't talk about it much, and yet that has been one of my most accomplished things because I've had one of my plays recorded by public TV, and then they showed it on their programming for. It was a play that the theme was domestic violence. And so they loved it so much. They said, can we use it for a programming? I'm saying, oh yeah. They never mentioned any pay though.
No pay?
Nope.
Anyway, let's carry on. Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is brought to you by Islands Diamonds LLC, Ladero Press, Milton McCulloch, a Dante production, and the Fresh Book Festival, which will be held in the beautiful city of Daytona Beach, 23, 24, 25 February in 2023. If you have any questions for Milton, please leave them in the chat room. This is being recorded. And now, Mr. McCulloch, you can give us some background on your illustrious career.
Man, you say that, and I still feel very humble when people say that, because even up to this day, I just don't see so much of what people say about me. But, I started from very young, from I was probably 4 or 5, I was always fascinated by my imagination and trying to describe it on paper, but by myself, And then I've shared this before already. When I was around 8 or so, I wrote it was like a poem. And and one of my mom's friend's daughter, her name is Cherry, she just spoke to me recently too. She called me from New York, checked on me all the while. She saw it, she was older, much older than me. And she saw it and she's like, oh, who wrote this? Because she saw me with the paper. Who wrote this? You wrote this? And I said, yeah. She said, where did you copy from?
Copy? Oh.
I was like,
I thought you were plagiarizing?
Yeah. I said, I didn't copy it. I made it up. She was like, no, you didn't. You couldn't have written this. Because I don't remember the piece. I never memorized. I just know that I was just writing from any thoughts I had. And so that's where, so it started from a young age. I'm 59 now, just turned 59. Yeah, to all the Virgos. And so I always, but from that day though, I never let nobody see what I wrote after that.
So when did you decide you were going to let people know that you were a poet? The poetry came first and then the books, right?
Actually, the playwright came first.
Okay, so that was
from Jamaica. So I wrote plays in Jamaica, church plays, and they would, and even after I left, I started up the drama ministry because there was none at my youth fellowship. And so I said, why don't we have one? Because when I was younger, I always liked acting. I always like write. I would write dialogue. So I was writing the dialogues from I was like about 10, 11 too. I would like the cat and then write what the cat says, but then as if they're human voices, stuff like that. And so I started off just doing that first, writing plays, and then I transitioned into songwriting for a while. I started a group at the church because everybody sang cover songs, all the groups I knew in Jamaica. So I said, God doesn't gift us with writing our own Jamaican original songs.
Yeah.
So I said, let's start a group and we're gonna write some songs, but I had no songs. So the Lord gave me, I guess where my heart was, he just like, okay, here, I know. But I guess he had already put that in my heart to say that and do it. And so, and then from that, I wrote some poetry, but not much. And then when I came to the US, I wrote a play. That's the play I told that was on TV. And then I acted in some little local plays around Orlando too. So nobody knows that about me, that I'm actor. I was a lead actor in a big musical, and I can barely sing. It was done at Lake Eola Park, where there was like hundreds of people in the park watching this play. I was so nervous because I was singing a BB and CC Wyan songs.
Oh.
Yes, I can't remember the song, but I pulled it off though. But I had to learn how to sing it in my
Your tone.
voice, natural voice, and don't try to be BB.
Right.
I can't be BB. I can write like BB in terms of songwriting, but I can't sing like it. Anyway, so all of that just transpired to where I am today. And so in about 2006, I was online. I don't remember what group it was, and some folks, they had a group, was a poetry group, but just before that, there was somebody I met online. She was just this beautiful Black woman, and I wrote a poem, Nubian Princess, and it's in the first book.
State of life. A state of life.
Yeah, a state of life, man, woman, child. And we're talking about she's so beautiful, and that she should not take anything from anyone. She should not allow herself to be bamboozled or anything. So forth. So then from when I wrote that play, I was like, I wrote something else. I decided that, you know what, I want to write a book. It's always been inside of me, but what book I was going to start out with, I didn't know. Because I always write stuff. I wrote sports articles in Jamaica, and so forth. And then that was it. That's when the poetry really like exploded in me to the point where now I think I've had maybe close to 200 poems written.
So State of Life was published when?
2010.
2010.
Yeah, it was about 4 years from that first moment when it was about 4 years from the time I decided to write a poem. And it was a great experience.
So you've had 3 books published, right?
Yes.
State of Life. Give me the other 2.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
And
the third one is Love and Emancipation.
Love and Emancipation. So
and there's a 4th one now coming.
So tell us about your publishing experience from State of Life, which was many, many years ago. And what's your experience now? How has that changed?
Monetary wise, it changed. The royalties from the first one, Universe, I'm not going to bash them or anything, but the royalties was no good. Which one?
That was the State of
Life. The second one, the royalties was okay. It just never, it wasn't as bad. It's just that it worked out differently. So as far as monetary wise, I started that because I think most of us, when we go into publishing a book, we're hoping it can be not just critically successful, but financially successful, because you put your sweat into it, you know? And I always say, man, it'd be nice to be just a full-time writer, but poetry is a hard sell. I'll tell you that much. I've sold probably between all 3 books, somewhere just over 2,000 copies, I believe. The first one sold the most, somewhere around 1,200 to 1,400 copies. And so, yeah.
But that could be because you, as a writer, did not push those books, right?
Yes, I was going to get to that then.
You had so many other irons in the fire, right?
Right, and I think that's what I discovered looking back now, is that marketing, you do need marketing, but you need a solid team behind you helping you to get that too.
Right.
Some people can't afford a publicist, someone to do all of the work, get on social media. Some people are fortunate that they sign with a publishing company that will do all of that. They give you a check up front and you're good. My check is the one I give up front to the publisher.
Yeah, if your name is Michelle Obama.
Yeah, exactly. So, but overall, the experience was very good though. Still, I think as far as customer relationship with the publishers, those were always good. I always got upfront information, from them. And then, I decided, okay, I'll go with it. I want the experience. Like now, my last publisher, they use Amazon printers.
Okay.
So I get my royalties on that per book is like amazing, like very amazing.
Right.
and they just deal with me differently, as you know. But anyhow, but the experience, just learning the ropes, understanding, the dynamics of publishing and the things that you need to look out for, one of the biggest thing I learned is editing. Please do not be the only one that edits your book.
Right.
Don't be the only one that
Right.
edits your book. You approve the editing by making sure you read, and you'll probably still miss stuff at that point. But you hope that is very small, and it's not, the grammar especially, or in poetry we get away, we have some things we can get away with, not grammatically, we call it poetic license. We can turn things around.
Well, I mean, you don't have, no book is, I haven't read a book that doesn't have at least one mistake. I mean, War and Peace had a mistake.
Exactly, but
some
some
are just, and I'm guilty of that, because you want your book to be out there, and you kind of rush it the first time, and so and I don't know whether you're considering this. All my books are going into second edition, and we're just going to kind of start all over again, because better now.
Yes,
And,
I'm considering that too.
Yeah.
I'm considering that, and also put all my works on the one label,
Right.
Publishing label, right?
Right. Okay, so we got the books out the way. Tell me about the first stand-up poetry that you did. Do you remember that? Where you had to remember it?
Oh yeah, I had to remember. It's somewhere in Orlando. I just can't remember. I remember the first time I was featured. I think the first time I was ever featured as a poet, it was for the 2012. I think it was the Orlando. No, before. Well, no, Fresh Book was first. 2011. Sorry, it's 2011. I was featured as the featured poet for the Orlando Juneteenth Festival.
Okay.
Orlando, Florida Juneteenth Festival.
Okay.
So the Thursday night was me, and then this was like surreal, because the featured performer, singer at the music festival next night was Tank. So I was like, why are they calling me a feature? I'm like, you have Tank the next night? This is my first book. Nobody really knows me. But it was an amazing experience, because most of it I read though, but I had like one piece I knew by heart.
Okay.
My Antidote Tonight.
Okay.
That's kind of like a groan, but that's okay.
That's a little groan? What do you mean? Oh, it's a little erotic.
It's not with crude words. It's just it's the way I call it grown, because it's more for it's clean and everything. It's just more mature. So
yes, you were the featured poet at the F.R.E.S.H Book Festival. How did that feel back?
Tremendous.
Those days.
It was about 100 people. I remember. I know it was at least. Yeah. It was over 100 people in the room, because every seat was filled in that room.
Yeah, it was.
And I remember just going through I was nervous. Even at the other one I did before, there wasn't 100 people there. No, probably about 60 people at that one. This one was like everybody. I'm like, okay, wonder if I say this poem, what's going to be the reaction? What's going to be reaction? And man, those people were so excited about my presentation. And I will never forget that, like an ovation at the end, everybody clapping and standing. If you can recall, Donna, it was just amazing, man. It was amazing.
Unfortunately, I was not in there because I'm all over the place, but I do understand it was wonderful.
Yes, it was amazing. Amazing. Someone saw that when I was eating, because we ate afterwards. Right. And so there's this poem, I did called what was called gosh, I'm forgetting right now.
You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I'm forgetting, but when I came back out, people would pass the table I'm eating and started to say the hook of the poem to me.
Right. It was just an amazing night. Right.
Yes.
And so I'm glad that we could have shared that night together. Let's move on from the poetry, and then you woke up and said, I can write music, I can compose music, I can put it together, I can hear it in my head. Okay, how do you go from there to there? Yeah. We call that the ultimate pivot.
I know, right?
The ultimate
I
pivot.
read this question. I was like, how do I answer that? Because
I don't know, but I gave you enough time. So.
yeah, I know, because it feels like I'm always, from I was young, I just enjoyed, I was always like feeling music. Didn't understand that I could do what I do now, but I was always like, feeling it. Then when I got older, now I kind of understand. I have a sister who is regarded as Canada's queen of hip hop. She's a
Right.
rapper.
That's right. And her
Mitchie
name is?
Me, she's my dad. My dad has 7 kids, and I'm number 3, and she's number 4. And she was, in 2016, she was honored by MTV, along with about 7 other female rappers.
And her
They're
name
honored.
is? Her name is?
Mitchie Me, Michie
Mm-hmm.
Mee, and she was regarded as one of the pioneers of female rappers who were pioneers for hip hop, and she represented the only female from Canada, and then one of, I think, 8 or 10 of them from North America, which included LC Light, Queen Latifah, and they actually knew each other. I didn't know. She knew them. She performed with them. She did stuff with them. She was she's in one of the videos with Queen Latifah too. But anyhow, so why I mention her is because I discovered that on my father's side of family, there are all these talented people, writers, songwriters, musicians, actors, all these people. And my dad is he's the top of the bar, apart from my sister. He was a very established and famous, well-known promoter and manager. He once managed a group that sing Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do? He was their manager for a while. And then he had the biggest show in Jamaica. He brought the Jacksons to Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
And had Bob Marley open for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And then my family showed me all the pictures with him. with what's her name, Catherine Jackson, all those people. I'm like, wow, that's my dad. Because I met him when I came to the US. I stayed with him at first. He never talked about it.
So are your poems songs or your songs poems?
They're both.
They're both, okay.
Because I will sing my poems. And some of the songs on my upcoming album were poems first. And I just added a verse or added some stuff to it and just wrote melodies to it.
And did you use any of your original poetry in the music that you have right now? Or is this all brand new?
No, I have there's 2 songs that were really poems. They're in Love and Emancipation that I turned into songs. And, I've done that various times, just write something and this as a poem, but I started singing it. I would be like, okay, I got a melody in my head with it and just start to this. And just to come back what you're saying, how do I know all of this stuff? How do I know? So from a kid, I think for the background of my family, I just want to address that more clearly. I figured that somewhere along the line, it triggered. I remember from youth fellowship, I started to say, why can't we do? I think God has put that in my heart. And then he just I started to exercise it, and it just was natural. It was just easy. I didn't play any instruments.
Did you run from it?
No, sorry?
Did you run from it?
No. Because I love music. I love music. I love rhythm. I love to dance. And that's another thing I did. I used to be in a dance group, dancing on stage at stage shows. I've probably done everything. I've modeled, tried every little thing. Anything that come to me and I feel like just try it, I try it. It might not be a long-term thing I do, but I tried. But the music part of it was always there. And then I just developed it. But a lot of it I was doing on my own. And then I was like, can you provide the music for me? Here's the melody. And they'd be like, that's so easy to follow. You don't play instrument? I'm like, nope.
I know, you have a very keen ear,
yes.
Which most people do not, who aren't people who play instruments, right? They don't have that ear for music. And so that's definitely a gift. And so right now, if you have just a small snippet of something we could listen to really quickly, I appreciate that.
I will. Yeah, I thought I'd do this, and then See,
You don't have to do my favorite song. You can do another.
What's that?
Don't do my favorite song. You can do
Oh, don't do your. Yeah,
I mean, you can. It doesn't matter.
No. What I'm saying is that I thought of doing your favorite song, but I said, you know what?
Me and the grandbaby.
Yeah, I know. I'm a grandbaby. She loves that song, but sorry. I'm gonna give you a song because this song here, we wrote part of it in Swahili.
Oh, okay.
So you'll hear the Swahili part of it. It's called God of Mercy.
Nobody like you, God of mercy, God of grace, God of love, be in this place. Our hearts adore you as we worship you. Let your spirit fill this place. There is no one like you in all the heavens and the earth. There is no one like you that's worthy of our praise. We welcome you. Hear us when we call. We welcome you here. God of all. God of joy, God of light, God of peace and miracles. We seek after you as we worship you. Shine your light in our temples. There is no one like you in all the heavens and the earth. There is no one like you that's worthy of our praise. We welcome you. Hear us when we call. We welcome you here. God of all. Mungu wa rehema na neema, Mungu wa upendo, shuka hapa. Mioyo ya kutamani, tukikuabudu. Roho Mtakatifu, utujaze. Hakuna kama wewe, duniani na mbinguni. Hakuna kama wewe, stahili sifa. Twakukaribisha, tusikie. Twakukaribisha. There is no one like you in all the heavens and the earth. There is no one like you that's worthy of our praise. We welcome you. Hear us when we go. Hear us when we call. We welcome you
Hi, thank you.
Yes, I'm learning Swahili now. So
Okay.
I said I had this idea when we sang. I said, can you all translate to Swahili the second verse and the chorus again and just sing it again? And I think because pretty much all the singers on here are 99% are from Kenya. They live in Nairobi, Kenya. And this song was a poem.
Okay.
This is
And
one.
from your first book or when?
No, it was not in the
It's just,
book. It was,
mhm.
I was writing it as a poem already. It was written as a poem.
So are most people surprised that you write Christian worship songs?
Not really.
Okay.
Most people who really know me know I've always had my spiritual side. I've never not denied my faith and never said I'm not a Christian. Yeah, I might have had moments where I don't walk like one.
Well,
I don't know about all of you. I don't know about any of you else, but just me. Maybe it's just me. Okay?
we're not talking about that.
Yeah. It's just me. I'm the
Yeah,
only
just
one
you.
that has happened to.
Mhm.
So
So the
yeah,
title Revelation, why?
man, the amount of it was just so fitting to have that title because God has revealed himself to me in so many ways, in real ways. It's not always like
That's your phone? Is that your
no,
phone?
sorry. Yeah, it give me sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I can't stop all of these notifications. I was trying to clear
You
them.
can
I
cut it
didn't.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
cut
was
it
trying
off.
to yeah, what I'll do, I'll mute the
Cut
phone.
it off.
There we go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you.
And so but
Don't you love Milton Jam?
I know.
We love you.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
But yeah, sorry, I missed the question here. What was
The question was Revelation.
Oh yeah, Revelation. So
Mhm.
that was it. It really is it was like when I thought about what this album should be, it should reflect, oh, God has revealed himself in my life, a God of mercy, I know what that is about. So I was always right. All the stuff I wrote about was really from my heart and what I've experienced. And it was all about, oh, God revealed himself from when I was a little boy all the way up to where I am right now, to when when I'm walking greatly in God, to when I fall, to when I have my incident, to when I look at other people's life too and see, oh, I see what they're going through. I can relate to that, like so the album is not one of those albums where you hear songs like this constantly, like somebody's trying to preach to you, be saved, Jesus is Lord, hallelujah. I have songs like one of my friends, this is her favorite song, it's called Rest in You. She could relate to that. She could relate to that. But when I was writing that song, it was really what I was going through. The words was, I was going through something and this is what I did. I wrote this literally. It almost started like a poem, and I wrote this literally. I said, another day is gone. I was talking to myself. I said, another day. I was going through something. I'm like, man, it was end of the day, I was like, another day is gone, Lord. Another day will come. I just was saying like that. And from that, I was like,
and then it came.
Yeah, I was like, what other word? I'm like, let me just write this poem. And then I was like, starting to sing it. Another day is gone, another day will come. I live to see the rising and setting of the sun. Lately, the burdens of life are trying to get me down. But Lord, I lift my hands to you, my eyes to you, where my helps come from, and learn to rest in you. Simple words.
So listen, so you woke up and said, I got all this music and I'm going to take it to the motherland. I mean, who does that?
I didn't take it. The motherland came to me, really.
Who does that?
I was not.
I'm not going to go to the studio down the street. I'm going to Kenya.
It came to me. God provided it. You see, I'm going to say something to y'all. If y'all don't get this, anything else, get this thing. God will put stuff in your heart.
Oh, absolutely.
He will put stuff in your heart. And he will already have the plans ahead of you. Okay? Sometimes you don't have to try to walk into those plans.
Right.
Okay, I was just reading Psalms 23. It says, that he lay before me in the presence of my enemies. He talked about he walked me through the path of righteousness. But then I go back to another scripture in Jeremiah. It says that my thoughts towards you are what? Good. I don't have bad thoughts to bring you to an expected end, meaning a good end, a good outcome. And so I was like, I say, if you don't have anything else tonight, know this. God has great plans for each and every one of us. Fresh Book Festival was not an accident. It was not, it was never going to be Milton McCulloch or Janice Kearney or any one of you. It was going to be Donna. You understand? He is going. That was his plan from before she was born.
Absolutely.
Before you were born, your parents didn't have no idea, no clue, neither their parents either, that you were going to do a Fresh Book Festival. You understand? So what, as I say, I don't know if you say it here, but we say in Jamaica, we say, what God has for you are for you. Or, what God has for you is for you. You understand? So I just believe that's what happened. And as I said, came to me, I was performing on a festival, a virtual international music festival. Only poets on it was invited. And after I performed, there was this singer in there from Kenya. There was from Kenya, the UK, Jamaica, the US, Canada, all over the world that was performing at this. And to our FM station, they put it on. And next thing I know, the guy reached out to me, Johnny Wines, who sing the title song, Revelation, on the album. And he says, I just love Facebook. He's like, oh, man, you're so amazing. And I was feeling him too. I was like, man, this guy is singing really good. I like it. I should probably, I would love to
reach out to him or something.
Yeah, and we both just connect like that. And I wrote several songs in the beginning. That was it.
That was it.
That was it. He said, I have an engineer man can hook you up with. And that was Maestro, my J. And he did all the engineering, all the audio instruments for the song.
Tell me about the musicians and their talents. It's amazing.
Very talented.
Amazing.
Yes, they're amazing to work with. I'm going to say this because I have to say.
Go ahead.
Again, God just set you up for success every time. God
Absolutely.
sets you up for your path that's ahead of you. You understand? And sometimes you have to realize that you don't need the armor like David. It's not going to fit to get you to get the job done. You got that. Sometimes, so God was like, I reached out to everybody here in the US, trying to get them to work with me because they're right here in Orlando. It was the most difficult thing. Oh, the first song took like about 6 months before I could get it done from this part.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I was like, it's not on the album either, but it's a great song, Rebel with a Cause. And I said,
you did it on the Fresh Book Festival in 2019.
Yes, right, yes. I have them performing.
Yeah, on the virtual.
Yes. So God just like said, son, don't try to put on an armor.
Sorry, 2021. I'm sorry, it was 2021.
Yes. Don't put on the armor. The armor was the people here I was trying to work with. I trying to fit them into this project and they wouldn't fit. So listen, I'm just telling you all. I hope y'all receive this stuff. Your art, sometimes you have to be ready to like shed some of the armor that you're trying to put on to work with you.
Ooh, we were just talking about that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, Tam and I and Mama Tony were just talking about it.
Sometimes you have to shed. Listen, I'm saying this because I feel like this is a very specific word for Dr. Janice. Okay, sometimes you have to shed some people, you get me, to work with if you want to get it done. And even when you think that they are the most, sometimes I see some people who are very special. We do other things together in Orlando, but they were not the right fit my armor. You know what I needed? I need to take off the armor and go there with my regular clothes, and my regular clothes was the people in Kenya.
And that collaboration has done magnificent things. First, it's given you a first-class album. Second, you've given them a first-class insight to what it's going to be like to be in the United States, right? And so it's a twofold gift, right?
Yes.
And then there's some financial gifts that have been done, right?
Yeah, they live in the slums. They live in what they call it the slums. We call it the slums. If you see where these people live and walk, I'd want them walk me to their house. sewer water. He's walking on like these planks instead of they can't walk on the ground. They have to build planks up. One of them, they burnt out a hole in these slums where the landlords have this is zinc rooms where the sheets go around. They don't paint it because the sheets keep it cool inside the room. When they open the door, they have a lock on it, and it's metal doors, and you have the lock. Like a gate for your property. That's what he goes into his room.
Mm.
Yeah,
and from all that, they can give out that kind of angelic music. That is amazing to me.
I'm just blown away by them every time. I'm like, I'm so grateful that God put them in my life, because they help sharpen me too. You understand? They help encourage me. They help me to be better, as a person, not just talent wise. So every time they say, write another song. Yes, that's yes, exactly.
Candace
Dr.
Janice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can find it in the most unlikely places. And then every time I write a song, and I have to go back to this, there's a song called Everyday Life that I wrote. And the word says that, you don't know my struggles. I've never been in your shoes. We don't know the same people or have the same friends too. I want to make it in this life. I want to do what I want to do more than survive. Afford anything I want to buy, though I know don't have the means, but that won't stop me from going for my dreams. Right. So I have to pay the price in my everyday life, learn from my choices, wrong or right. Sometimes it is most times it is nice, but I put on a smile in my everyday life. God's on my side in my everyday life. That's the hook there. And I wrote that song, and I was saying earlier on, the song is not the typical where you say gospel song. I'm just Jesus, hallelujah. I wrote a song like that because that's why it's called Revelation. Because when I paint a picture of Revelation, I won't paint what people doing and going through and what they're saying. Something that they would normally say. Right. When they're not in the church, listen, man, today it's tough. But listen, you don't know my struggles, man. It's not like, God doesn't know my struggles. That's not really how we walk every day and talk. We don't always say, God don't know my struggles, and he does, but he knows God knows my struggles, and he knows what I'm going through. No, I tell somebody else that most times. You don't know my struggles. You understand?
But don't you think that sometimes we forget there's I'm not a Bible-licious person, but there's something that says your gifts will
make room for you.
Make room for you, right?
Yeah.
And so we sometimes forget that.
Yes.
And I'm very guilty of it. I'm guilty of it.
Too.
I'll stress and stress and stress. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, here comes the solution, right? Mm-hmm. Because if he didn't want you to walk this path, Milton, you would not be in the path. Period. Would be somewhere else, right? So we have to rely on our gifts, and we're all guilty of saying, "Oh no, I got to do something else. I got to figure something else out." And all the while, God is saying, "You just chill and let me work this out for you." Yeah, knucklehead. Yeah, and I was telling you, knucklehead. Let me, give me a minute.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
The many songs, how many songs? Let's talk about the listening part, because we are quickly running out of time. I'm so proud of you. I've known you so long. I've seen you, make a powerful pivot from, poet to author to musician to writer to composer. I mean, that kind of gradual nuances don't happen to everybody. And so I want to talk about this project that you have coming up in November. Please let the people know about it, how many songs they are going to be able to hear, where it's going to be located, and just tell us about the listening party. Revelation, the listening party.
Well, yeah, we're going to do an official album release of the of Revelation. November 5th at 3 Mass. The doors open at at 12, and then we start at 1. We're going to have a red carpet, a backdrop, take photos and all that stuff. And, and then we're going to showcase around about 12 to 14 songs. I don't remember the exact number. No, it's going to be in 2 parts. The first section is going to be live on Flex FM out of Fort Lauderdale. So they'll be doing a broadcast remotely from here for us on the Truly Julie Experience Show with Julie and Lee. And then from that, we will have the second part hosted by Brother Travis. He's from out of Volusia County, Orange City. No, DeLand, sorry. And,
that's Volusia County, still good.
Yeah, yeah.
Still,
I just called the wrong city.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's what we're going to have. Tickets are available still. It's like $50 for 2 persons. It includes food. If you like Jamaican food, you're going to have Jamaican food, okay? And if you don't eat meat, we're going to put aside something for those people who are vegetarians, because I know my friend is coming from Fort Lauderdale and he's a vegan. He don't eat meat, he don't eat fish.
But so you can do other things when you get there, when you're eating and milling around and taking pictures.
Yes.
3 Mass is a smorgasbord.
So to speak, right?
A smorgasbord
Yes.
of African art and soaps and jewelry, and so there's so many other things you can do until the presentation.
Right. Yeah, they have a store there where you can network and all that stuff. We're gonna have actually I'm gonna have a little table there for we're gonna have about space for 10 people to put their stuff on who come. And so we have thank you FreshBook for being one of the sponsors.
Always.
Thank you so much for being one of our. FreshBook was a sponsor last year for the listening party of the first 6 songs. We have showcased 6 or 7 songs last year, and so yes, 3 Mass. The address is 1023 West Colonial Drive, and it's downtown Orlando. And I'll say this: God is making a way, because about half the tickets that I sold are from people not coming. People that say, Milton, we've been looking forward to this. And they just my classmates, we have a WhatsApp group, and several of them just I didn't even ask. They're just hey, can I contribute? I can't come, Milton. But I always send the songs to them, and they just send money to me. Somebody the last 3 tickets were people not coming.
Well, I mean, but you could also gift them to somebody else who might not be able to afford.
Yes, that's what I plan to do. That's what I'm planning to do. Ask people who are not coming. By the way, Tamara, thank you so much for purchasing that ticket. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, support is important. So, as I asked you before, Janice is saying, is this going to be virtual?
We are working on that, actually. The idea I had was, and I can't get them to get me. We have a virtual set. I have a virtual setup right now with a streaming company called Veeps.com. Already, it's $9.99 for the tickets, but I did a test run for $9.99. Bought my tickets myself, and you can transfer the tickets. So if people have donated, I'm gonna transfer it to them. I'm gonna buy transfer tickets for them and transfer the ticket via email. You do it. So I'm trying to do that right now, so that anyone. But if I don't get it fully going by this weekend, that there's somebody supposed to assist me with this. It's for me to do a test run, and they haven't provided me with anyone yet. So I might.
You can always zoom it in. I mean.
Yeah. Yes. We
all you need is a screen.
Yeah, that too. But as I said, there is a lot of cost that went into all of this, and I'm trying to, more than me, I'm trying to assist the people who work over there. We just. As a matter of fact, this last Friday, we did a live launch in Nairobi, Kenya. We didn't broadcast it because we didn't want people to know about that yet. We're going to just give you guys snippets of it during our show and during on the Saturday the 5th. So you'll see some of the stuff. Some of them have posted, some of the artists have posted stuff online or on the Facebook. But yeah, they had an amazing performance as some of the songs in Nairobi. You know, it was a small congregation, but it was so good. It was so good. So yes, we, Dr. Janice, we're definitely trying to do the streaming.
If you need a Zoom in account, you certainly can have it.
Yeah, I have one. We tested it. I'm doing a test run on that again because the last time we did the Zoom, it didn't work so well. But I'm going to try to do that. I know, for example, though, the first part, the first hour, if you go to, you can see the first hour. You don't have to go. The first hour is going to be because Flex FM. You can go to Julianne, she'll post that, and I'm gonna post it so everybody can go straight to hers. But once their hours is finished, they're gonna hop off us because the next program after that will take it and run with it.
Right.
So it's the next is the second part that I need to get set up right now. You know, so if people want to catch the rest, I'm trying to do the Veeps part of it from the 2 p.m. start. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It'll all work out. It always does.
Yes, it does. I mean, listen, I've gone through enough stuff with this trial and errors. I'm still doing trial and errors with all of this project. And I will say this too. When you said, Donna, God will make room for your gifts, after the show, the listening party last year, somebody sent one of my music to some Christian management company, and they reached back immediately and said, man, we want to sign you as a songwriter. You don't need to sing a note. You're a gifted songwriter. I was like, what? You want to sign me? It was kind of like, I'm not thinking like that,
Don't be scared.
Yeah, I'm not thinking
walk through that door.
I'm like, man, I'm like in a sign. So like what, sign me like what, to write songs for you?
Yes, that's all they do.
Yeah, so he said.
And you write for other artists, actually.
Right, yeah, so he sent me a contract and then I had somebody read it to her who had more experience with it, and it wasn't favorable to me. So I said, okay, I didn't.
It won't be the last one.
Yeah, I hope not.
It won't be the last one.
But I'm so excited. Thank you so much, y'all. I'm so
welcome.
excited. Can we get one question in, Donna, from anybody?
I just need to know from you, what's next for you?
The tour.
Okay.
The Revelation tour, and to finish my documentary.
Okay.
I have a documentary I started working on, My Story, My Song. That came out of one of the songs. I had this idea for a while though. But yeah, the tour. So pray if you can support. I'm trying to raise the money to bring them into the US. We bring them to Little Rock to Dr. Kearney. you just give me your contacts up there. What's that?
Come on down.
So come on down.
Yes, we definitely will. I'm trying to get them, we already have all the plans together. We're just trying to look at the funding, and somebody reached out to me about funding. And I was like, are you serious? So I have a proposal. So pray for me that this proposal will go through, and they're very much interested to assist with that. So that's the next thing, the Revolution tour to the US.
So does anyone have any questions for Milton? We will just open your mic if you do.
Mama Tony, yes, Jacksonville must be in a lot. That's one of the cities. I already listed Jacksonville, so yeah.
You're probably gonna have to have a place where they can come where there's a port or easy access, right? Coming in from Africa.
No, they're gonna fly. They're gonna fly in. They don't have no passports right now. They don't have a visa to come here.
Oh, right. Okay. So you gotta work on all that.
Yes, that's what we in the process now to get them.
No, I'm saying price-wise, it's probably more economical to fly into Miami and then work your way wherever you're gonna go.
Yes, yes.
Than to try to fly from here to Arkansas, from there to Arkansas.
But sometimes they have the flights go to New York first before they come to Miami. Sometimes they have to connect from New York. So if they go to New York, we can put them on a train, and it's probably not so expensive than if we try to fly them directly to. No, don't try to fly to Orlando directly.
No, that's gonna be way too much money. So any questions, anyone? So the Revelations listening party is on the 5th of November. It is at 3 Mask. It starts at 12 o'clock. It is a $50 ticket. You get food, you get something to drink, you get music, you get the wealth of being in a place that has
Mm-hmm.
an abundance of articles to buy. You get to meet Mr. McCulloch, and you get to meet the young people from Kenya who are going to make this an amazing experience.
Yeah, we're going to
So-
Zoom them. We have 2 tickets actually done. And there's a, if it's sorry to interject.
No
There's one
problem.
for the 51 is for 2, and there's a $30 for one person.
For one person, 50
Yeah.
for 2, 30 for 1. November the 5th at 12 o'clock at 3 Mask on Colonial, and I don't know that side street right there.
Yeah, the side street.
West
Well, the
Colonial,
intersection is Orange Blossom.
Orange Blossom Trail.
Yeah.
So right now, I need for you to give me a pearl of wisdom, because that's what we do here at.
A pearl of wisdom. Yeah, I should have known that was coming.
Yeah, you should know. I mean, it's only been 3 years.
We did that every time on the first shows we did for 6.5 years, Donna.
Right, we forgot to talk about that. We used to do a show together called Sweet Tea with a Chaser.
Yes. For
On
6.5 years. 6.5 years. We did that. Yeah.
On radio, right?
Funniest stories. Yeah. I was in Orlando near where I live, all the way in Colonial. And that lady heard me. She came up to me and said, because she heard me talking. And then she, I saw her looking at me. She came over to me and said, I know you. I know you. I'm like, oh yeah? I don't know her. And she's like, yeah, you're Brian Mack, right? Like, okay.
Oh my God, we did that show for 6 years. Wow.
Yeah, 6.5. We almost made it to 7.
Wow.
I didn't know people would recognize me.
Oh yeah, I still get called Gemini all the time. You're Gemini.
I know, right? Yes. I said, yes, that's me. She said, oh my gosh, y'all so fun. Them ladies, y'all so funny. I love to say, you always like cracking me up. I'm like, yeah, you understand anything I said? Because I went into my Jamaican accent.
Always. What?
Like,
what are you talking about?
We were in a Jamaican store, so I didn't have to worry. She was Jamaican. She was Jamaican too. I was like, she's Jamaican. She was to the show. But anyway,
it was an amazing 6 years, and we've had an amazing 16. I don't even know how many years we've known each other, but we've seen each other grow in what we love to do, and we've been collaborators, not competitors. And so, why is that so hard, everybody? Why is that so hard?
I know, right?
We're collaborators, we're not competitors. He has always, he has been a sponsor of Zoom in on a Fresh Conversation since day 1. And I thank you for that, my friend. And so I'm still asking you for pearl wisdom. I'm trying to talk to you, kind of think of one.
All right. So
or you can let me end the show and then you can play my song.
All right, I got you.
Would you like
I got you. Well, my pearl of wisdom is real easy.
Okay.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Yeah, that's simple.
And lean not on your own understanding. Commit your ways to him and he will give you success. It's not my number 1 scripture, but it's one of the main scriptures that I lean on, especially during these times when I've been doing all these projects and going through stuff. I'm like, because sometimes I do not put all my trust in God. Sometimes I'm leaning on my own understanding to do stuff. And, I don't know about all of you saved people I'm talking to right now, but
all of y'all saved.
You spiritual people I'm here addressing right now, and on YouTube. And I know y'all so saved. Y'all never ever. You're not lean on your own.
You don't slide.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah, but me, I have. I confess to. And so I've learned that. So if you And don't stretch yourself if you sometimes you lean on your own. You know, God gave you an intellect to utilize as well.
Right.
That's not what he says. That when you use your intellect, it's not that you're leaning on your own understanding. Own understanding.
It's your gift.
You know what the Bible says, it talks about wisdom, you know, is the beginning of understanding, is the beginning of wisdom. So it's talking about seeing how God sees things and applying it, how he wants you to apply it, you know, along with that intellect that he gave you to apply it and to grasp it and to intellectually put it together and put it in place. That's what he's done. So I've been learning that, you know, I ain't the most smartest fella in the world, but I can make sense of stuff sometimes.
Well, we thank you for that pearl of wisdom. And as always, when the lights go out and the cell phone towers go down, all you have left is a flashlight and a good book. And so if you will take us out with, it doesn't have to be my favorite song. It could be.
Oh no, man. You requested it, Donna.
Me and Baby Girl, we like.
Yeah, my granddaughter loves this song. This is our favorite song. Here we go. Big God.
Big God. It is a listening party. It's November the 5th from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock at 3 Mask on Colonial Drive in Orlando, Florida.
Yep. Thank you.
We have a big God than you and me. We have a big God, much more than your eyes can see. We have a big God, much bigger than you and me. We have a big God, beyond you can never conceive. Yes, best to live right at the end of the day. Can you look in the mirror? Feel good about yourself. Hold your head high, don't get bothered. Can't take back things you did, the choices you made just to survive. Move on and stick with this plan. There's a reason God kept you alive. Now you know better, be a go-getter. Get it, and don't be bitter. Reach to the top, you jet if they tell you.
All right, good night, everybody. Thank you, Milton.
Big God,
Big God.
bigger than you and me.
See you on the 5th.
We have a big God,
Good night,
much
everyone.
more than your eyes can see. We have a big God, much bigger than you and me. We have a big God, beyond you can never conceive. Yes. Some will take you